What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show today. We're going to be doing a recap of the Blast Pro series that happened over the weekend, and we're also going to jump in do our EU minor draft for the upcoming minor in Berlin for the major. So we're really excited about that, and that contest starts on Wednesday. And then to finalize today's show, the loser of the event this weekend is going to be drinking a combination of all of these items in front of us here, and we'll describe it. It's 3 drinks and 3 solids. So we've got a Nerds slushie?
Jolly Rancher slushie.
A Jolly Rancher slushie. What's in the McDonald's drink?
Oh, it's just an iced tea. I made it classic.
An iced tea and some Mountain Dew Game Fuel are the liquids. We got a Filet-O-Fish from McDonald's,
quarter
pounder from McDonald's, and then spicy Doritos, all going in one drink. Who knows, though? Maybe we invent something here. We never know until we try it.
I'm hoping you throw up. But
are you guys going to try it, too?
No.
So just so everyone knows, I actually lost. And I would have won by a lot if I didn't screw up my Tier 3 pick.
Yeah, you went Cirque.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Pretty stupid.
I know. I took Cirque at Tier 3 instead of NAF, and that one hit me hard.
Yeah, NAF ran away.
NAF was unbelievable this weekend. NAF had the highest. Yeah, first of all, he had the most amount of fantasy points with 155.5. Let me just go through his stat lines, actually. We'll jump right into it. So NAF had 191 kills, 61 assists, and 132 deaths for 155.5 fantasy points, and he averaged 17.3 fantasy points per map, which is very high. That's Tier 1 status, and usually even higher than some Tier 1 guys. I mean, I think Zai Wu has the record right now. We were talking about this offline, or off air. Zai Wu, when did he have it? He had like 21 or 22 points per map?
I believe it was 21.5.
Was it during Cologne? He had like 320.
Yeah, he had
300.
He had 300. No one. Only 2 people got 200, and he got 300 and
I believe it was
something.
only about like 18 or 19. It was the one before Cologne. I'm pretty sure
That's
one.
crazy.
I know the old record was Device with like 18.9.
Yeah, 18 from a Blast Pro event.
Yeah.
It was like 18 something, but Zai Wu at 20. Like, just think about that. So, in order to get 20, first of all, the points are 1 point per kill, half a point for an assist, and then you also get deducted half a point for a death. So you have to have an extremely high KD. So in order to get average 20 points per map, you need to have basically a 2.0 KD, right? Or have like a 1.5 KD plus like half of the assists, like 10 assists or something like that.
Or you get 20 kills and then your assist and death cancel out at 10 each, something like that, right?
Yeah, but that's still crazy.
That's tough,
So,
10
20
assists?
10 assists, 10 deaths.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
And 20 kills.
Yeah,
That's a crazy
that's
match.
not. Yeah, and you're playing against the best of the best. Like, that's crazy. Like,
Insane.
and looking at Nav's stats here, he had 61 assists. That's the most in the entire tournament, and that's because if you look at Twist, he ended up being the MVP. I'm not sure why they chose him. Maybe they went by rating because he died. He had very minimal deaths. So his stat line was 184 kills, which is less than NAF. 31 assists, so he had 30 less assists than NAF. But he only died 118 times, so his KD was much higher than NAF's, and he finished with 140.5 fantasy points and 15.6 points per map.
That one game was insane. That was like 29, 7, and 8 or something.
The last map on Inferno against FaZe to round it up. I think he only died like 6 times. He had like 28 kills.
That probably was part of it, right?
What did he have? I'm curious. I want to go check it now. It was something stupid. Let's take a peek. He definitely died less than 10 times.
I think like 7 or 8.
Let's check.
And he almost dropped a 30 bomb too.
Very close to a 30 bomb.
Yeah, he went 29, 7, and 8.
What the heck? Against FaZe.
So he almost had a 29-point map.
But mind you, too, that's against FaZe.
In the finals, though.
In the finals, yeah, they made it to the finals.
FaZe been playing.
They've been playing pretty well. Meister showed up.
They're a top 10 team. They're not in the top 5. They're top. I think they're 6 right now in the world.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
pretty
sure
sure
that's what the ranking was.
Nick, in episode 9, you said that.
I thought because Meister in like literally the last like 15 tournaments has been absolute garbage.
But
he got dragged in the finals.
Yeah,
we're gonna talk about Olive. I know I got a little bit of heat and flack about chirping Olive. Now let me just say I'm not against Olive Meister. I really like him as a player. When we say he's been bad, we're talking from a fantasy perspective or from a fantasy point of view. So Olive, in my opinion, is not a viable fantasy pick or fantasy player. The only reason why you would pick him is possibly if you think FaZe is going to go far and he could pick up extra points by going farther in an event than another team. But when you look at Olafmeister and when he plays higher end teams, so look at Liquid, he finishes with a minus 11 KD, and he finishes with a 0.82 rating. That's against Liquid, okay? And they're obviously number one in the world right now. Then let's go take a look at the NRG. Maybe he played better against NRG. I'm just curious, though, to see if he got carried a little bit. Against NRG, so they won 2 straight. He finished with actually he had a really good...
He played really well against NRG.
He finished plus 15 really KD, well, and he had a 1.34 rating. But all of FaZe almost was over 1 except for Neo. Neo was 0.99, but Guardian was 1.23. Olaf was 1.34, Rain was 1.37, and Nico at 1.58. So is it that FaZe played really well, or is it that NRG just didn't show up?
Or is it
well?
That now with the rumors of coldzera moving to FaZe, one of the guys are getting kicked out, whether it's Neo or Olafmeister, probably one of those two, because the other 3 you're not going to, bench. So is it kind of you're playing for your position now, right? Because he did, in some games, look like the older Olafmeister, the more dominant one that we saw, even last year. Like last year when they almost went for the Intel Grand Slam, he looked like old Olafmeister. It was only recent that he's been starting to play bad. So maybe it's now that he's got a fire lit under him, he's on the hot chair, he's starting to play again, like the older one.
Wasn't a bad tournament for him, I will say. He averaged...
he finished positive.
He averaged 10.1 fantasy points per map, 156 kills, 155 deaths. So he barely finished positive.
Still positive.
But he did, and he finished with 91 fantasy points. He finished 4th on FaZe. Neo had the least amount.
Was way down there.
I think Neo's the one that's getting booted if coldzera comes on.
I still think
so.
Who becomes their IGL?
Well, coldzera and Nico have both IGL before.
But coldzera's English is really bad. That's one of the issues.
Yeah.
If his English is really bad, you can't IGL.
So they were saying after the Blast Pro, I don't know if you guys watched, but they had a little kind of show after just doing a little analysis, and they were saying a lot of the teams, I forget which one, but I think it was MIBR that they were talking about, and they said a lot of the times people think that they're talking quite a bit between each other with the IGL and between teammates, but they admitted that they don't talk a lot to each other, and especially they find that when they don't need to talk to each other, that's when they play their best. I thought that was pretty interesting.
It makes sense. Like, if you're at that level, you already know the game so much. Like, you don't need someone to tell you, this guy's coming around this corner. You already know he's coming.
And you know what your partner's ability is going to be, if he's going to be able to take that fight or not.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Need to support him, so I thought that was pretty unique.
I think it probably just frees up calm, and you don't have to, hear people yelling in your ear.
Yeah.
You kind of it just gives you your own mindset to play in.
I think it's worth it, even if you have IGL problems after kicking Neo out and bringing coldzera on, just because of the skill differential. Like, you bring on another top player that can match with Nico, then you have one guy on each bomb site backed up by Guardian and Rain. If you maybe let Olafmeister try IGL, right? Or let one of the other guys. I think it's worth it. It'd
have to be either Olaf, Guardian, Nico, or Rain, like one of those 4.
Like I said, Nico has IGL before.
I know. They've talking about how Nico was an IGL, but it hindered his performance because he's worried about what everyone else is doing rather than himself, and he's a star player. Your star player really should be your IGL.
I think you're going to see the same thing happen to Olaf. His play just totally dive if he has to become an IGL.
But we've seen bottom fraggers be IGLs on teams before.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, let's take the example of Nitro, who's a phenomenal player. He's also a great
by
IGL.
far. He's
the best IGL in the world.
He's their IGL. Obviously, he had the least amount of fantasy points and least amount of kills on Liquid, but he averaged 10.6 fantasy points per map. He was just below 1.0 KD, but just if you look at their fantasy points on a per map basis at 10.6, which is basically the average, is what we see. That's a good game. That's what you want from your IGL. If they can just be average, if you compare Nitro in this tournament to other IGLs, so Nitro finished with 10.6 fantasy points per map. Neo for FaZe finished with 7.4, extremely low. Stanislaw on NRG finished with 8.8. The only one, well, you know what? I'm not sure, but it looked like Zeus stepped in for MIBR, and he was their IGL over Fallen. But if you want to look at Fallen and take him, for example, even though I don't think he was IGL this weekend, he finished with 10.3, which is pretty good. Renegades, I'm not sure who their IGL is. Is it AZR?
I'm not sure who it is, actually.
I want to say it's AZR, but I'm not.
I know Gratisfaction is their opera, and I know that.
Yeah.
I think it's AZR.
Yeah, I think it's either Liaz or AZR.
I think AZR is their IGL. So, anyways, AZR finishes with 6.5, and then you go to Cloud9 with DAPS at 9.1. So, at a 10.6 fantasy points per map is extremely good. You can see that it's on the higher end, if not highest end, for IGLs. And if that's what you can do is just get just a consistent game from your IGL, then you're going to be in the bonus, and which is what we see pretty much from Glaive as well, right?
Yeah, and one thing to mention, too, is Nitro only around that 10 fantasy points per mark, but he's also the team who won the entire tournament, so that's something to say for itself.
I mean, it's probably easy being the IGL for a team like Liquid because everyone is just so skillful and very intelligent on that team. So it's probably you don't have to work as much. Right?
Their communicate this tournament. I mean, Cologne was really good for them, but this tournament I found again just showed how much better they are than all the other teams. Like right now, it'll be interesting at IM Chicago, and we'll talk about that in the next podcast. But in this tournament, for example, they didn't lose. First of all, they didn't lose a series. They didn't lose a map in one series, and they didn't lose at all.
I don't even lost a single map. They literally went undefeated.
They went 9-0.
Yeah.
Right.
And none were really that close. If I'm being honest.
No, they're right now in terms of this tournament. They're way far above everyone that was involved.
Yeah, to be honest, I was hoping to see FaZe at least take one in that grand final, but
the closest on Nuke.
I knew they weren't.
The closest one was on Nuke. Inferno was done. It was a write-off.
Nuke is known as Liquid's weakest map, and you even saw that their weakest map is still stronger than most teams' strongest map. Like they are leaps bat and train.
Communication and some of their strats that they're pulling up, like. You don't see a lot of the stuff that they're doing in CS. Like they pull some really neat strats, and sometimes what I like is they like to take their time. Yeah. What I notice is they'll bring the bomb up, they'll leave the bomb, and then they kind of go in this default position where they're like, let's see if we can get I'm talking about T side, of course. Yeah. Let's see if we can get a CT to overpush or overstep. Let's see if we can get an easy kill, because they basically wait around for the first minute 15 seconds before they decide to go push something. But let's see if we can go get information. Let's see if we can push up, get map control again, get information so you can get an easy kill or a pick before we decide on where we're going to push. Like, it seems as though that's the strategy. It's not like before each round starts that they're going to go, we're going to hit this site. I think their idea is, let's go get map control. That's the first strategy. Push up, see if we can get a pick somewhere and open something up, and let's see what the CTs do. Do they respond, and do they over-rotate? And we have somebody, and we saw this on Mirage. They did this a lot with Elysian and Apps. Like, he kept pushing up to get information, and they didn't have a response when they're playing against Cloud9. But one thing that they did, like their team communication strategies, it was just awesome to watch this weekend. Really, really high-level stuff.
I think, too...
sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. I think just to... carry on with Mark's point, I think too, with Liquid playing that way, they know who they're playing. They know that they're the best, and these guys aren't as good as them, so they're okay with taking those risky plays, sending Stewie 2K and out there to see if they can get that first frag kill, and obviously that worked for all those games in a row, and no one could shut them down. I mean, as soon as Stewie or someone goes out to try and get that kill and he gets shut down, that's when you would start to see Liquid having some problems and maybe them losing the game. But obviously we did not see that this tournament. And
I do like how they're playing with a lot more emotion. I think it came with Stewie, but like you see them like they're smiling and like they're laughing and joking around between each map. I think that's what's helping this heavy load they're playing right now. Playing every single tournament that they could possibly play in, is how much fun they're having as a team together. It's much different than when you see even like FaZe, who are very serious and almost looks like they're mad at each other all the time. Like they're all so happy when they play.
Well, I mean, if I went and won every single game in a tournament and swept everybody, I'd be pretty happy.
They swept everyone. They weren't really in trouble at all throughout this entire event.
I mean, I guess in Nuke you could say that Stewie kind of carried a little bit. Like you would see him go and pick off like
second half he carried. It was like near the end of the first half. It's like final 2 rounds, I think he had a 3K and a 4K possibly, and it bumped him up to like 18 kills. He had 21.
He finished with 30.
Yeah, I think he had 21 at half.
Wow.
On Nuke, and then he finished with 30 on the T side. So, but they didn't really play. Did they start off on T side?
I don't know that one.
Let me check.
I want to talk a little bit too about Guardian. I thought his performance.
No, they were
was
counter
stellar.
when they started.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
started on CT,
phenomenal.
so then he finished with 9 kills on T side, and those are pretty much opening frags. Pretty crazy.
And Guardian was also 5th in the top 5.
Guardian was top 5, eh?
Yeah,
Fantasy
he finished
points?
with 112 fantasy points, 165 kills, 145 deaths.
Yeah, he played really well, and they were talking about it. Like Anders was talking about it, how the FaZe was playing like more. It looked like they were almost playing more fluid to the point where Guardian could just run around as he wanted with the op and do kind of what he wanted to do. Right, like he wasn't stuck in a single position. He was able to rotate where he wanted to go.
Yeah, he played well with the op, and he also played well with the Krieg. Like, I'm noticing...
I've seen a lot of players playing with the Krieg now.
Yeah, like that the headshot potential with that thing is basically like an AK, but you get the scope in, right? And he played really well with it, I found, especially on Nuke and on Mirage.
Were you a little bit worried? Did you see all the amount of time Cirque had an SG in his hands?
I was hoping. I wanted him to go off so badly, and he started. I don't even think he had that good of a tournament at all.
I don't think he
was.
Did he hold it up for more than 3
No,
rounds?
he didn't. Like for Cirque, and just so you guys all know, I ended up losing the our contest, the draft, and it was 100% purely based on the decision to draft Cirque over NAF. If I would have picked NAF, I actually would have won the entire thing. I would have beat you guys. But whatever. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, as you say, right?
Still drinking the smoothie today.
I'm still going to be drinking the smoothie at the end of this event, or at the end of this podcast. I'm not looking forward to it at all. Like, just the thought of all these things, when I tasted the Jolly Rancher thing, and it was so sweet, it was making me gag. And I don't think I'll puke, but I think I might gag. But who knows? Maybe it'll taste good. Maybe
I also think, too,
the
I can
sweetness,
guarantee it won't.
the heat, and the salt will all combine together, and it'll be just a flavor punch right in my mouth.
What's fun too is that like people don't know that like I would say you're a pretty healthy guy. You're
Very,
a kid,
yeah.
you go to the gym
Extremely.
like every day. So
Yeah, well, that's why I'm
watch
not.
what you eat.
That's why I'm not chugging this
Yeah,
thing. That's
this
why
is
I'm
all-
taking like a shot glass of this. That's it, and then I'm immediately going and running like 6 kilometers. So gross, but we'll move on. One of the bright spots, I think, and just to clarify too, if I remember correctly, our last podcast, I said we would have a clip of me saying the following: Liquid would finish first, FaZe second, NRG third, and Cloud9 fourth. And what happened?
yeah, you hit it on the
Got
nose.
it.
You hit it on the nose.
I mean, we all had the 1, 2, 3 the same. It was just between Renegades and Cloud9.
Yeah, but none of you guys picked Cloud9.
And look who lost.
I know I lost, but I'm just saying I picked. And going back, because I listened to it, Aaron did say that maybe this should offset.
No one agreed with me.
Maybe this
I
should
wanna say
offset
nobody agreed
what
with
happens with the actual tournament itself in our contest. Maybe it should have.
no,
Yeah.
Mark has a change of heart.
No, I'll be drinking it. I'll be drinking it. But quickly, before we move on to our draft and go on, from Blast to the EU minor. I mean, MIBR expected, right?
Played a little bit better than we thought.
Played a little bit better,
bit
but
better,
I
yeah.
think the end result was what we all expected, no?
Yeah.
So who do we think they're going to pick up now?
I think they're going to pick up Henny. They'll pick up Lucas's brother.
Yeah,
Ooh,
but we
we
saw what
can-
happened last time. Like when Henny and Lucas are together,
Yeah,
they're pretty party animals. It looks like.
Well, so what happened was, I think when they were on Luminosity, they were at the DreamHack event. This was a year ago. The DreamHack event in Montreal. They made it to the finals, and so the finals are typically always on a Sunday. They went out partying, obviously, on the Saturday night. Went out drinking. They were late to the event, so the DreamHack had to start late, and then they ended up finishing. I don't know if they won it or not, but maybe we can look that up. Go see if they won it or not. But anyways, afterward they came out. It was the team. The entire team was cut. Weren't they? From the organization, they said they're gone. They're not.
Wow.
We're not on the team anymore. They cut everybody.
remember.
That was when.
Love.
That was when it was Henny, Lucas, Bolts, Steele, and who was our fifth?
I know it was the 4. I can't remember who else on there, but I speaking of Bolt and Steel, I like Bolts as a pickup.
Well, Bolts
is
has
really
been
good.
on MIBR before, but it
Yeah.
didn't work out. So would it not make sense to have Lucas and Henny
And
since
Henny
they're
together,
brothers?
the
They always
brothers.
play together.
Yeah.
Chemistry over there. It'd be nice to see. I'd like to see the two brothers play.
They're good when
Especially
they play together.
for MIB.
And that was when they just came off. They made it to the major finals and lost, and that was in Krakow in Poland. So no, this was 2 years ago. Then it was in 2017 that this
So I was gonna
happened.
say, I thought they brought them all back.
It was Well, actually, I want to look this up now. But anyways, in my opinion, it makes most sense to bring in Henny. That's I don't know. It would make most sense.
You just say screw and keep Zeus.
But anyway, so continuing with that, then that team got cut, right? The 5 of them. I forget who their 5th guy is, top of my head, but it'll come to me when I keep talking. Then that's when Nadeshot started 100 Thieves, and they did the whole thing, the walkouts.
Yeah.
They did a whole video on their CS:GO team, and it was going to be those 5 guys.
Oh wow, I didn't know that was directly related to that.
So Nade had them, and then they announced the lineup. They're going to compete under 100 Thieves, and then I want to say 1 to 2 weeks after they made the announcement, Nade came out and said that they're no longer going to be playing for them, and they didn't even play a game yet. They cut them, and Nade said it was because of visa issues. I don't really think that makes much sense since CS:GO is global, and I don't know personally if that was the issue. I think once he did some more due diligence and background checks on the guys and found out why exactly they got cut in the first place, I think he said, I don't want to deal with this, and let's not continue.
Yeah. Starting with a new organization, you obviously don't want to upset your investors, and if they see he's spending all this money on players who have a horrible background.
Say from a coach perspective, if I'm the coach of this team, I'm not there to babysit as well.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
So they had late 2017. The organization picked up the Brazilian CS:GO squad. However, due to various setbacks and controversies, the squad eventually parted ways with the organization without having played a single game. And it was Henny, Lucas, FNX, Bit, and KNG. Those were the 5. And then Blecker was going to be their coach. And they joined... This was back in... It was December 12th, 2017. And they got cut January 31st of 2018. And then they formed... Now Tim Caro or something like that, the new Brazilian squad. But...
I'm happy to see that from the perspective of the esport. Let's keep it professional.
Yeah. It sucks because it would have been cool to see 100 Thieves branch into CS. That's like the thing, right? Yeah. If you can get teams in CS, if you can get teams in Overwatch, and not so much like RL's there, but like League of Legends, that's it, right? Those are the big mainstream ones, but they're tough and they're very expensive to run, right? Yeah. And once you're in them, they're extremely competitive. Like you saw Optic Gaming tried for the longest time. I think they're still dabbling with CS:GO, right?
They actually have 2. They have Optic and Optic India.
Yeah. But CS, one thing is that once you hit the top, say 20, the teams, there's such a huge disparity in skill, even within the top 20 to top 10. It's hard to breach in and think that if I do some recruiting, I'm going to have a good team right away. Very, very hard. And these were, they had the right idea of picking these guys. Unfortunately, again, who knows? There were some setbacks and controversies. They said visa stuff. I think they found some stuff out and said, let's not do it. He would have had the right idea because at that time, they were a top 5 team, right? They had just come off of losing in the major finals. And who did they play? Did they lose to? They played, it was 2 teams that were surprising to get there. It was obviously them and let's go see, the Krakow 2017 finals.
See, that was before my time.
It was a major too. PGL major. When they were Immortals and Gambit. That's when Zeus won. Zeus won with Gambit. It was Gambit versus Immortals. What the heck?
Remember, Gambit was. It was. Everyone thought that Gambit was the next big team.
Yeah, then that was it. They completely disbanded after that. Basically, Zeus. After they won that, Zeus went back to Na'Vi. Eventually, Hobbit went to Hellraisers. Who else was on that team? They had Adren. Adren went to FaZe. Remember that whole thing with FaZe for a little bit?
Yeah.
And then they have Dozia. I think Dozia's still there. Yeah, Dozia was still there.
It's a big boy.
Anyways, crazy. We pretty much got off topic there, but
that was interesting though.
Yeah, a little bit of CS history, but it's 2 years ago. It seems like longer than that. But anyways, MIBR. So that's how we got it. We were talking about MIBR and who's going to replace him. So
they didn't leave fully losers. Still won 20 grand.
They won 20 grand. Yeah,
standoff.
Not bad.
Nice, entertaining show.
But for me, they just because of all the drama and stuff. I did notice, it looked like they were just having fun. It wasn't like I think they knew they weren't going to go in and win it. They were just going to go, let's just do whatever we can and just have fun.
Yeah.
And again, result was expected. I thought they possibly could have made it, but I didn't think they were going to. Same with Renegades. Expected again. I don't know if there's much to say. I mean, AZR had an extremely poor performance throughout the entire event.
This is leading back to, like, they were playing really well a few months ago, and then Gratisfaction was having visa problems. So, you know, the opportunities to practice and to scrim were not there as much, and I think that's why you see a dip in their performance.
Yeah. Well,
lately.
JKS, I will say, has been consistently performing extremely well. So this tournament, in the 5 games they played, he finished with 104 kills, 20 assists, 85 deaths. So he had a positive KD, 71.5 fantasy points, and averaged 14.3 fantasy points per map. And just a little bit of context behind that, he finished with more total fantasy points than any Cloud9 player, and those Cloud9 players played two extra maps than he did. Yeah, so he finished with a higher fantasy points per map and total fantasy points in 2 less maps. He had obviously more fantasy points than any Renegades MIBR player. And we'll continue on. He had more fantasy points than Stanislaw and NRG, who played 2 more maps. He had more than Tarek, who had played 2 more maps. And he had more than Cirque, who played 2 more maps than him. One more than that. He actually had more fantasy points than Neo. And Neo Neo played 4 more maps than JKS. Just think about that. He had 4 more games to play and had finished with less fantasy points than JKS. And JKS finished with 104 kills. Neo finished with 20. So in those 4 maps, Neo only got 20 more kills.
That's insane. I mean,
so he got 5 kills. 5 kills per map he averaged.
Yeah, I always look for JKS as a point putter-upper for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just because of his team with Renegades, it was too much of an iffy, so that's why I couldn't even touch
a bright spot, right? I mean, but he's been very consistent. So again, maybe, I mean, we'll be doing that draft later on. But something for IEM Chicago to look out for and potentially drafting JKS in the upcoming tournament, right?
I did like how Jacob played, too. Didn't show up as much as JKS, but Jacob played well, too. Yeah. I think it goes back to, I feel like all their past tournaments, AZR is always like their second or third fragger, and in this tournament he was the worst. Very bad. Like, he almost had, a negative 0.5 KD.
And I almost picked him, too.
I
was looking at diversity.
I did pick him. That's the thing. He was... I didn't lose. AZR was literally the worst player in the tournament, and I lost.
Still finished second.
Too, We've picked him before, and he's popped out pretty well.
And I was looking back at their past tournaments, and he was always their second or third fragger. It was always like Laaz or Gratisfaction, who were the last fraggers in this tournament. The others, everyone but him played well.
Let me ask you this, and this was the first time Blast did this. What did you guys think of doing the semifinals instead of going straight to the finals?
I liked it more.
I loved it.
Me too.
But I didn't like all the music and stuff in between. I wanted to get
long
right
breaks.
To the game.
It was long breaks, I will say.
Like, you know, I had it on because it's got an Apple TV. Now I can watch Twitch right on the TV. So I mean, like, I'm there to watch the games. I mean, I love the band and all that stuff. But you know what? Let's put that on like as an after.
They did find I found they would say, okay, intermission's going to be 10 minutes,
and it would stretch way past
way longer than 10 minutes. But to be honest, this was my favorite Blast format so far. Like absolutely. The entire tournament format was my favorite one.
And I really enjoy like the whole look of like the HUD.
Yeah,
almost when you're watching the game, it looks really slick and smooth. Like it's just really nice to the eye.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job with that.
They did, very good job.
I just think the semifinals promotes more competition, where you just don't have the 2 best.
You get to watch more CS.
Yeah.
It gives you a reason, like going into the last game, even Renegades, who were 1-3 at the time, had a chance to make it. Like every game still mattered when there's 4 teams that can make it in. Like before, when it's top 2, you lose 2 games. Like, well, we're practically done at this point, right?
Yeah.
But now you lose 3 games in a row, you can still make it at 2 and 3. So I enjoy it. Every game still matters more.
Yeah, and what I didn't like before was such a quick single elimination. The team who really shouldn't have won might have made it to the grand final, and then it's always a blowout.
The round robin's just best of 1, 5 matches, and the top 2 teams just go play each other, right, in the finals. This was, I know it makes the event a little bit longer, but I really enjoy watching semifinals and seeing.
And how much money were they giving away?
500,000.
Yeah, I mean, for $500,000, wouldn't you want to stretch out the tournament a little bit? Like, why rush it?
Yeah. I think when they first started, their first couple events, I think they started in 2017. It was all about doing a 1-day event. So instead of going and watching, because most of these tournaments will occur over 2 days, right? Yeah. And they wanted to see, would fans prefer to go sit there for 1 whole day? So they used to have, everyone would play at the same time. So they'd always have 3 matches going on, on 3 screens, and you sit in the stadium, watch them all, and then the top 2 teams will go play in the finals all in the same day. But the players end up saying that's a long day, right? Because we're playing 5 games and we go play a best of 3, so you're playing potentially 8 maps in one day. That's a lot.
And when it's exhausting for a viewer, I mean, obviously something's got to change, because even before we were like, some of those tournaments, and I really enjoy CS quite a bit. Mm-hmm. So for me to get that much to be kind of sick of it, that's a lot.
So, anyways, good tournament. It was a lot of fun to watch. Again, excited to watch the upcoming. There's so much Counter-Strike going on this week. It's crazy with the 2 minors and Chicago. It's nuts.
I just want to ask before we leave Blast, was there anything you guys thought FaZe could have done against Liquid to try to at least maybe win one map? Or
you can play as well as you want, but when from 1 to 5, you're beating at skill at every single position, there's not much you can do at that point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if Neo's been there longer, like that's probably one of the weak spots. Obviously, Olaf is okay, but he's like against weaker teams, he's good. He does have bright spots, but the consistency is still not there when it comes to playing against the top teams. And obviously, Neo as the IGL is okay, but again, there's going to be communication breakdowns. There's going to be a little lapse of timing when you have a whole new player come into your squad, and then going up against a team like Liquid, who's been together now for a year and a half, best team in the world by a lot actually right now if you look at the actual points. But I don't think there's much FaZe could have done really.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I would have liked to see is that like you said, Nick. You know what, FaZe can't stand up Liquid one by one. So you know what, flip your whole game upside down and try to give Liquid a show that they haven't seen before. And it seems like they didn't even want to try to do that. Yeah. They just kind of like, okay, let's accept our loss. We got here. It was like, let's pump it up. Try to do something.
I'd say it's almost intimidating at this point when you're going, like, I would say any team is going to be intimidated, except for maybe Astralis going up against Liquid, because you go into right away saying these guys are so red hot right now, and every single one of them can take on a 2-on-1, a 3-on-1 if it comes down to it. And it's just, you go into the game thinking, what are the odds that we even win this game, right? You go into it with a negative mentality right away.
Yeah, I assure you, too, probably Astralis is shaking in their booties, too, even watching after the blast.
Is this officially now becoming the age of Liquid?
No.
You don't think so yet?
No, it's still so short term. Like, no.
How many more tournaments do you have to win to become age of Liquid?
I think you have to win a major before you can start saying that stuff.
So they've won, like, how many of the last tournaments have they won now?
I think all of them. Exactly. I don't know. But
so
again,
if they win the next major, it's officially age of Liquid?
Yeah.
I would say so, yeah.
Yeah.
There was that fun banter. It's on the EliteDuels Instagram.
Was it with Stu? Yeah, I saw
it
that.
might be Aaron and Stewie.
I saw
at
that.
Each other. That was good, eh?
Like, when it comes to being the best, you have to consistently beat the best. And the major, I know it happens twice a year, but the major is literally the way it works. You're going to have every single top team there. So there's no excuses, right? Like, you can make it, Cologne, I think that one was a top-end tournament because there were so many good teams there. But there's no excuses when it comes to, or I shouldn't say excuses, but there's no counterpoints to, okay, it was just a major. No, it's the best tournament of the year. It's like saying, it's like an RLCS, right, an event. It's the best tournament of the year. Whoever wins that is the best team in the world at that point. Right now, if I had to compare it to, say, a mainstream sport, it would be like winning the Super Bowl, right? So Astralis right now is the reigning major champs. Until they're dethroned as the major champs, I think they're still number one team, regardless of the rankings, right? Like, again, you can have power rankings all you want, but you got to win the major. I think they're really good. I think right now they're the number one team, but I don't think this is the age of Liquid or anything like that.
Here's just something for you. Last time Liquid lost the game was June 18th. It's been a month ago since they've lost the game.
Like,
not a map, a game, like a match,
actual match. Yeah. Okay,
and they lost to North. Since then, they've went undefeated.
All right. Well, again, I don't know. Like I said, they'll be my favorites to win this weekend in Chicago again. Good for them. I hope they continue. I like watching NA teams win. It's been a long time since we've had, at least right now, 2 NA teams in the top 5 with both Liquid and NRG. But Liquid obviously far ahead of NRG at this point. But it's fun to see North American CS at the top for a change. That was the biggest meme for the longest time. When somebody screwed up, it'd be NACS. That's all you hear, NACS. So right now, NACS is the best in the world. So
and again, with Cloud9 on the rise,
Cloud9 coming up, you never see. Obviously, NRG's
there,
and Liquid's really excited for Cloud9. I think they're going to do really well.
Fun to watch.
I love Tens. He looked like him with the deagle.
Unreal,
unbelievable,
so good.
If you guys want numbers, just for Tens, he finished 132 kills, 141 deaths. 69.5.
Yeah,
for your first tournament.
First tournament.
Yeah, that's pretty good for your first tournament.
Top tier teams too.
And he didn't look scared in these games. He looked confident. When he was given the deagle, he took on. He would get 3-4 Ks against Liquid. Like I think one of the first rounds he ever played was against Liquid, and he had a deagle. He got a 4K.
Yeah. Well, he led Cloud9 in kills. He was their top fragger throughout the entire event. Yeah.
Dust too. That one.
One person that did not show up to the hype was Mixwell. I'm hoping that I see more of him in the next tournament.
Yeah. He's good. I mean, it'll take some time. Yeah. He's a good player. He'll come around. I thought
Automatic obviously looked fantastic. Tens looked good. Kusta showed some glimpse. I want to see Kusta op more.
Yeah,
though.
Me too.
Kusta, I don't know why he was always a rifler.
Yeah.
It seemed like they were leaning.
He was just scared to.
They were leaning more at Mixwell for the opping, but I really want to see Kusta with the op because he was fantastic with Ghost.
Yeah. Mixwell finished 114 kills, 129 deaths, 61 fantasy points.
Yeah, I agree. But again, great tournament overall. I enjoyed it. A lot of good stuff to continue to look out for in the upcoming CS. And now we'll move on to the EU minor, and we're specifically gonna focus on the European side of the minor this weekend. We're not going to do the Americas minor because there's just so much to cover. But today we'll talk about the EU minor. There's 8 teams competing to get 2 spots into the major. I'll explain how this works because they changed it up a little bit. So you got Crazy, which has Let One, Hunter, Nexa, Esperanto, and Auto ND. You got Fnatic, Mouse, North, Team Ancient, which has Plopsky, Draken, Disco, Doplin, Freddy B, and Rusty. You've got Sprout, Big, and No Chance. And No Chance is a brand new organization just formed by Michael Laley, Crystal, Zen, Stiko, and Thomas. Now, I don't have much time ever watching Thomas. He's a new guy on scene, so I can't really say much, but those other 4 have a lot of experience in high-end CS.
And they were, it was like just a couple of months ago, the team was made, correct?
Yeah, it might even more recent than that. Let me see.
Brain spanking new.
It was created in late 2018. So actually, it's been around for a while. So.
Oh, 2018?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's been around for a while. So.
Haven't seen them play at all. I'm excited to see them play.
Yeah, I haven't seen them either. So
and Team Ancient as well. I'm excited to see them play. We don't get to see them play a lot.
It'll be interesting. So just so everyone knows the format of this event, the top 2 teams immediately get qualification into the upcoming major in Berlin, and the 3rd place team gets a bye or a qualification spot into the minor. So what they do now is each location does their own minor. So you've got EU, you got Americas, CIS, and Asia. The top 2 teams from each of those get an automatic bye to the major, so there's no more qualification. Then the 3rd place team from each of those goes into another qualification, which happens at the same time of the major. So I think it's either 3 or 4 days before the official major begins, but it's the last official time to qualify. They call it the minor, the official minor, to get in. So from here, 3 out of these 8 teams are going to advance to play in the major, which means that I would consider obviously Fnatic, Mouse Sports, North, and Big as the 4 favorites in this, but it means that one of those teams is out.
And I think the odd one out would be Big, in my opinion.
I would say Big, yeah. But you never know when it comes to this. Like, you look at Big's team, you got, Gabi, Tabson, Tizian, Dennis. Those have been mainstays, but the addition of Xantares, very good player.
Yeah, really good player.
In the last
Tabson and Xantares, man, like those
are 2 really good players.
Top tiered players.
And he was Space Soldiers, right?
Yeah,
Xantares, yeah.
He was. Space Soldiers were always really good, but they disbanded because Space Soldiers decided to drop their CS team. So they then decided to go out and split up and go on different teams.
Have any of you played Smash Bros?
No.
Just off.
Well, I have. Yeah.
If you look at the Crazy logo, does it kind of look like how you like the my God, how you got like your special ability in Smash?
Oh, yeah.
If you look at it,
A little bit. Kind of looks like the Apex logo, no? A little bit.
Oh yeah, I can see that too.
I can see that too.
But what's going on with Plopsky here? We should figure this out because Plopsky played for NIP. He's officially on.
Yeah, he was only for loan. He was
loaned to NIP for the tournament, but he's officially on. Okay, yeah, he's officially on Ancient. Will be playing for Ancient because he's not available to play for NIP in the major. Only Dennis can. Dennis or their coach, I believe.
After the major, if I'm looking at it, if I'm NIP, I want to get Plopsky back very quickly.
Good player, but
he showed he's a young, very skilled player.
So does Team Ancient, who has Plopsky, Draken, who's an extremely good opper, played for NIP for an extended period of time. Disco Doppelin, about 2 or 3 years ago, he had a lot of hype around him that he was going to be a guy coming up and will play for NIP. Just kind of never panned out, but still a good player. Freddie B, good veteran player who's been around the block, and then Rusty, you never know. I don't think they'll advance, but you know.
I think if anyone has a chance to, I think it's going to be Team Ancient of those bottom. 5
these are
teams.
all going to be very, very good games.
If you swapped Ancient with like Sprout, no chance or crazy, I say yes because really
Most Sports kind of seems like the big guy in like the big fish in a small pond
in Group A. With no chance
Sprout and crazy as the other people.
But that Group B is a group of death.
Group B is group of death. Big Fnatic, North, and Ancient all in the same group.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do they do that intentionally, or is it just luck of the draw?
Luck of the draw.
Most Sports is very happy.
Luck of the draw. So how it works is group stage works as a double elimination format. Each group has 4 teams. Opening matches are best of 1. All following matches will be best of 3, and the top 2 teams from each group advance to the playoffs. So here's the thing. 2 of those teams are not advancing, just even out of the playoffs. Yeah. So Big, Fnatic, North. That's crazy. I mean, to me, the favorites are Fnatic and North to come out of there, but they're best of ones.
And I said Big is very used to playing against the top tier teams. So I don't think they're going to have any issue in this tournament.
This is going to be interesting to watch. Well, here's the thing. So what they do is your very first game, this doesn't really make much sense. I don't understand. Your very first game is going to be a best of 1. But then the next 2 games are best of 3s. Why? What's the point?
I hate the best of 1s. I don't think it's any indication of skill between either team.
So North, for example, North and Big, they play each other in a best of 1 first. Now you would assume North has the upper hand there, but Big can take a map off them
easily, just one,
and just like that, North is down, and
it could mess your whole fantasy page up too.
It can mess up your fantasy, but they also could be out. And North is a team, in my opinion, that should be at the major regardless. They're a good team, very good team.
Yeah, I would take North over
AZ, KRB, Yugi, Gade, and Valde.
Yeah,
it's a good team.
100%.
Now I think on Group A, when you look at Crazy Mouse, No Chance, and Sprout, couldn't be any more of an easier path for Mouse to get.
I would say Mouse and Sprout would be the 2 teams I would take.
And just to reiterate, if they make it to the finals, the top 2 teams at that point when they play in the finals, they're just playing for prize money at that point. But both of them advanced and qualified, and then the real match is going to be for 3rd place. So the 3rd and 4th place teams when they're playing, that's because that's the last spot to get to the minor play-in.
That'll be an exciting game to watch.
That'll be nuts to watch. So. Anyways, those are the 8 teams. That's how this weekend's going to work. And I shouldn't even say this weekend. The tournament officially starts on Wednesday. So we're going to do our draft right now for the EU Minor. And I finished last, so I'm going to get first pick. We'll do the same rules every single week. I get first pick. Aaron. Aaron gets second, then Nick, and then Justin gets last. And we'll do a snake draft. Again, the contest is up right now. We're gonna do. We'll do the free one actually. So everyone gets 2 free entries into the free one. We're only gonna do 1 entry right now. Top 100 win $5. So it's pretty cool. I get my first pick. So in tier 1 we've got Hunter, Woxic, Searson, and Nexa. This is difficult. Hunter's a very, very good player.
Nico's cousin.
We should mention that's Nico's cousin. He averages 93.8 fantasy points. On EliteDuels right now,
and he's a highlight reel to watch.
Yeah, he's the highest player. However, I will say the one thing he's got going for him is he's in Group A, right? In Group A, we think is the lowest. Like I would put Crazy and Most Sports on the top right now, right? Of coming out of there.
I would do Sprout in my opinion.
So you
as a
think
secondary.
Sprout has a chance of beating Crazy? Yeah, I'd
I
say
think so.
Yeah, fair match, I would say, between
Yeah,
Crazy
they're
and
relatively
Sprout.
close.
Yeah.
So then, but then the one of the guys that stands out for me for tier 1 is Woxic, right? Like that's the guy I'd want, but
obviously.
he's on the other side of things, right?
No.
On Team Ancient.
No,
Sorry, he's on Big.
Woxic
no,
is Mouse.
Mouse.
So, he's on Mouse. That's right. My
Yeah,
bad.
he's Group A
I was
with
thinking
them.
Xantares.
Yeah,
You're thinking about the smoothie too much.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I
well,
don't wanna do that.
they're both Turkish gods.
Yeah, they are very good. Well, that being said, I'm going to go with Woxic. The he's a fragging beast. I'll be taking him for my tier 1. And we'll say the loser of this event is going to be taking a
Ice bath. Is that ice bath?
This one we're going to do the.
was the other
You're
one.
gonna get shot in the back.
You're getting shot in the back with this?
You're gonna get shot in the back with a BB
Airsoft.
gun.
With the BB gun, yeah.
Not
that's
BB,
what-
Airsoft.
Not
We
BB,
should confirm.
airsoft.
So you get shot in the back. We'll do it here. The loser gets shot in the back. There you go.
There you
So
go.
I'm going Woxic too, just because
Yeah.
I'm looking for longevity right now.
You
I don't want to
scared?
risk it with.
This is T1
Crazy.
kind of.
We all last
It's a
time
no-brainer.
all of us chose Nico and it didn't matter at all what Nico did. Could have got 0, wouldn't affect
Yeah,
anything.
see, that's the thing now. I could go with Hunter and get different points, but honestly, I think Woxic is going to be much better than Hunter.
Well, if
just look long term.
And
If Crazy
but they're in
slips
an
up,
easier
They're an easier.
group.
And my thing is that sure, Hunter might play well against Sprout and who's the other team in there?
Crazy?
Nope, he's on Crazy. It's Sprout
No,
and
Woxic's on
no
Mouse.
chance.
Oh,
No, Hunter.
yeah, no chance.
Hunter,
No
Hunter's
chance.
no chance
Crazy,
and Sprout.
Crazy Mouse, no chance
no
in
chance.
Sprout.
So Hunter's going to play well against No Chance and Sprout, but then you go up against Mouse Sports. It's a different story where I think Woxic is going to play well against all three of those other teams, right?
So,
I'm going Woxic.
Woxic.
Yeah.
So tier 1, we just see
To
that
watch.
screws me up because I got first pick for no reason.
Yeah.
But I guess it comes big in tier 3 and tier 5.
Yeah.
That's one of the disparities.
Again, it doesn't really matter because you guys could just copy anyways. But
Yeah.
go ahead. So Justin gets first pick in tier 2. He gets the pick from Rops, KRB, Esperanto, Chris J, Frozen, Keto, Faven, and Xantares.
There's 3 really that I like.
Yeah.
Actually 4 if I want to mention Cage or B. But who I'm going to go with is the young gun Frozen. That's going to be my pick just because he's been playing absolutely insane,
Yeah,
especially against the top tier teams. And if you look at his FPPM right now on the site, 86.9.
86.9.
And the next one closest up is 49.
49.1.
So
See, I thought you were going to take Rops.
So I thought it was gonna be Rops and Chris J. You guys are gonna take. So I was gonna take
Frozen?
Yeah, my 4 were Frozen, Chris J, Rops, and then KGB.
So because you have Frozen, I think I'm going to take the other young gun from
Rops.
Mouse. So I'm going to take Rops.
Nice, that's a good call. I'd say I'd be fine with picking either one of those.
Yeah, they're both.
very good players.
See, I'm not too sure who I want, to be honest with you guys right now.
Just remember, Aaron, I finished first in the last CS draft.
Yeah.
So you might want to just copy his team.
See, part of me wants Frozen again just to kind of get those safe picks. Like, I know, we all know Mouse is going to go decently far in this
Yeah.
tournament. We don't know if they're going to win, but
I mean, they should.
I think they should. I think they're by far the best.
you think they're going
I
to
think
beat
Fnatic
North?
and North can
yeah,
put
yeah.
up a fight.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Fnatic
both,
or
the
North.
only 2 teams that could challenge them to a really good match would be Fnatic and North. Maybe Big.
Maybe
but
Big,
Fnatic
but-
and North for sure.
Yeah.
So you know what? I already went conservative on tier 1, so I'm going to go Frozen on this one.
He has been playing well. I'm going to give the edge to Rops, though, and only simply because more experience. That's all I'm saying.
Really?
Rops has played in a major before.
Yeah.
This is technically, I mean, it's the qualifier to get into the major, but you're on a big stage here. Like, what? Just wait to see how many people are watching just the minors. Like, just to qualify, it's a lot, right? So the nerves, I don't know if Frozen's going to have him or not. He's probably still going to show up, but I'm just going to give the edge to Rops, and I want to play a little bit more safe in this, in my tier 2 pick, so I'm going to go Rops.
This seems all too familiar. Last tournament, we all
Yeah.
had the exact same pick, and then Mark and I both took Twist in the
But
second. They took a lead.
We're going to see that tier 1 and tier 2 is
It's tough,
always
yeah.
similar because that's where you want to make sure you get your guaranteed points. But tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 is where it kind of splits up a lot.
This is where you're going to see the disparity. begin.
Yeah. So tier 3, we've got Freddy B, Disco Doplin, Auto ND, Tabson, Brolin, Yugi, Crims, and Valde. For me, no brainer. I always 100% go with Crims whenever I can. Always plays extremely well, very consistent, and I do believe Fnatic comes out in the number 1 spot in their group. So even though it's a group of death, I think they're favorite to come out and make it far. So I'm going to go Crims in tier 3.
Aaron?
I think I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Brolin.
Brolin, good pick.
Good pick, buddy.
Young boy from
I like
Fnatic.
it. I like it.
I'm gonna go with the stud from North Valde.
Ooh, really?
Yeah,
Interesting.
those would have been the two I would look at.
Unbelievable.
Oh, really?
Very good player.
I was thinking Crims, Brolin, and that's it.
No, Valde.
That's it. Valde?
Yeah,
Valde's
he's
good.
a beast.
I know he's at the bottom of
But-
this, but he's good.
He's really good.
He is at the bottom, but I mean, I'm just his group.
It's a group
Good
of
luck with
death.
his group.
I
Yeah.
know.
But I would say if Fnatic is favored, I would definitely go North as the. If they're 1A, North is 1B.
Oh yeah, true. Because it's 2, right? So
Yeah.
you still get one.
Two
Okay.
come out. Watch Ancient somehow get out of that group, even though I don't think they will, but you never know. So who are you going with?
I'm going with Brolin.
Brolin.
Rolling. Well, you guys have the exact same team right now.
Yeah, you and Aaron.
This
have the
happens
exact-
all the time.
You guys have the exact.
See, this
same
is
team.
dangerous now. We got 2 losers right now.
So going into tier 4, Justin has the pick coming around the corner here. So you got AZ, Thomas, Stiko, JW, Zen, Grux, Draken, and Speedy.
And this one I'm going with my boy JW. Just kind of a safe pick, and I mean he's going to be a
Consistent.
fragger. He's going to be safe
Yeah.
for consistent points. So, and I just have to beat you 3. So
My turn.
I'm going to keep that going with JW. Same reasons. Definitely one of the safer picks in this tier, and Fnatic is obviously...
So, one thing I'll mention here, when you look at the playoffs, if you make it to the semifinals, you're guaranteed to play the same amount of games as the people who make it to the finals, because they're gonna have to do the
losers.
the two teams that win the semis. They're gonna play in the finals, but they already automatically qualified, right? So they're gonna play a game. Then they're gonna have the losers final. So the two losers of the semis play each other, and the winner gets to go to the play-in qualifiers at the minor. So regardless, you've got basically 4 teams who are gonna play the same amount, potentially the same amount of games.
Yeah.
Not usually it's just 2, right? You're guessing to go to the finals. In this case, there's actually 2 finals. If
Yeah.
you want to look at it that way.
Losers and winners finals.
Yes.
yeah,
Okay, well, I'm gonna go with AZ here.
Easy. Good pick. I like it.
interesting.
Yeah, for me, 2 guys stand out. It's AZJW, and I'm actually going to go with AZ as well, because I believe Fnatic, North, and Mouse will be in the finals or losers finals. That 4th position, I would have said was big, but because they're on the other side, I don't think you're going to get to see big even make it out of the group stage. So it'll be somebody from Group A, whether it's Crazy or Sprout or No Chance.
Yeah.
Those will be one of the teams. But anyways, like I said, I'm going to go with AZ in tier 4.
I'm gonna say if Draken was on the other side of the teams,
Yeah.
I would
Be a
pick
viable
Draken
pick.
for sure.
Yeah. If you thought he could come out, but unfortunately he got stacked up. It would have been
Yeah.
nice. They should have Big on the other side, or one of those 3 teams
One
should
of
have been
the-
on the other
yeah.
side. But it looks like it was. I don't know. Maybe you can go back and see how they did the draw, like if it was based off of rankings or not. I would assume that's what they would have done, but I don't have really. Doesn't have. There's no information here on how they
How they decided.
decided on the groups. It's probably somewhere. Maybe
some
we can
research
find
on it
it.
when
But
you
yeah,
get back.
it's unfortunate. But going into tier 5, always the hardest pick by far. So in tier 5, you've got Mirbit, Michael Let One, Twist, Rusty, Dennis, Gade, Gabi, Kerrigan, Exist, Crystal, and Tizian.
There's so much mediocre skill here.
Oh,
That's gonna be like
it's almost like all
dark
the
horse.
IGLs tier 5. That's basically.
I do see. I see 2 players that stand out personally, in my opinion.
I see 2 that stand out.
I got one.
Maybe a
I know
third one. Maybe a third one stands out.
It's you first, right?
Yeah, it's me first. I'm gonna go with Twist from Fnatic.
Same here.
Ooh.
It's got the highest kills per round out of everybody here.
Yeah.
So
I like Twist when he plays against lower tier teams, but he's gonna be playing against 2 better teams, and for that reason, I'm gonna take Kerrigan, who's gonna be playing against some cupcakes.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm going with Kerrigan as well.
So, a lot of the same players being tossed around here, but kind of different combinations.
different.
of
We're all
the season.
different.
me and
We're not the
Justin
same.
were the same
You
for the
guys-
first 3.
you guys have
And
a
then
very similar
last
team.
two we
Everybody,
split. Last
everybody
two we
has
split.
everybody has Woxic in tier 1. Tier 2, me and Nick took Rops. You guys both took Frozen.
Frozen.
Tier 3, I have Crims.
I think you guys have Crims. We have Brolin.
I have
I
Valde.
have Brolin.
Oh yeah, you took Valde.
You guys both took.
We took both
Brolin.
Brolin.
Okay, so through 3 tiers, you're
So
the
you guys
same.
are washes.
Yeah, this
Okay.
is the same time.
Tier 4, I took AZ.
JW. I think.
JW.
Easy.
Okay, and then my last was Twist.
Twist.
Kerrigan.
Kerrigan. So very similar, but no one has the exact same team.
I'm hoping that our tier 3, the tier 3s are going to be the big difference here. Tier 3s and tier 2s are going to be what the big difference
what
is.
we saw is the top 3 teams got picked right here. Players from the top 3 with Fnatic, North, and Mouse. Now, an unfortunate thing here is that I would have loved to have taken Tabson at some point from Big because he's such a good player and. That's
But
the
if
only issue.
if they were on the other side,
Yeah.
if like them and Sprout had switched, I would definitely have taken
there you go.
Tabson or
100%.
Xantares or
I
even
think
God B.
I think what will happen in Group B is that Fnatic will win it, and the second spot is going to be a toss. Honestly, it's a pure toss-up between North and Big. Big, with the addition of Xantares, and we've seen Tabson. Tabson has the same capabilities as a Nico, as a Twist. He is a top-tier player, so unfortunately he's on Big. Maybe it's because I don't know. I think he speaks
German.
English. He's German. Maybe he
yeah.
wants to stay on a German team.
And
though.
then you even said Turkish nationality and German nationality are very similar.
Yes.
A lot
Yeah,
of
they are.
immigrants and all that stuff are
Yeah.
very similar cultures. So yeah, that's why I think
I would have
Xantares
honestly. I would have taken Tabson. Like, he's another in tier 3. I think that's a steal, but just because of the simple fact that he may not. I think it goes North by an edge when we look at like very, very close.
But
It's very close.
even Fnatic versus North, I
Yeah.
could definitely see North.
These are
winning that.
exciting. The Group B games are going to be fun to watch. I'm going to make sure to watch all those. But I'm making sure I hit enter on my team. You guys could also follow, and it's free to play this weekend for that one. So that's
submitted.
That starts on Wednesday. Again, free to play. You can follow us on EliteDuels.com and draft at the same time. Excited to watch that. Make sure you stay tuned for the IEM Chicago draft, and the loser of that one is going to be doing the ice bath challenge. How long do you guys stay in it? 2 minutes?
2 minutes?
The worst part is a minute.
Yeah.
The first minute's
After that, you're
terrible.
numb.
After that,
Just
you
do
get
a
numb and
minute.
you're
Do a
good.
minute.
So
Is it just me?
It's that first.
the
dump
minute's
in.
the worst.
Is it just me or does the No Chance logo look like the Avengers logo, kind of?
Yeah, it does.
Looks like a lot of
We got the
logos.
Brawl Stars.
I see Nintendo.
Yeah, no, Brawl Stars.
All right, so I guess it's time to blend all this crap up
It is time.
and consume it. So I guess you guys can talk as I do this, or do whatever you guys want to talk about as I blend this stuff up. And I can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun.
This is gonna be delicious to watch.
We can talk about the IEM Chicago right now for a bit.
Well, I thought
Are we saving
going
that till the
through
next
Do you want
one?
to save the next
Yeah.
one?
Save
All
it to the
right.
next one.
We
Let's
can go the ingredients which Mark has in front of him.
I want
him the lowdown on how this worked between the liquids and the solids.
Go who picked what?
Yeah.
So I got the Jolly Rancher slushy and the filet of fish. Thought that's a beautiful combination.
Oh my god, I'm gonna gag.
I went for full gamer fuel with the Mountain Dew and
Pure gamer
Dorito
fuel.
chips.
Pure game fuel right there.
Aaron.
That's a
I-
Black Ops 2 stuff.
I just went standard, got a burger and some iced tea. You know,
He tried being a little bit nice.
So I should put liquids in first, right?
I
I
think
don't know.
just pour a little
No,
bit
you
of
look
everything.
at
It's
one.
nice and melted for you.
Make sure the camera can see it. too.
Yeah.
Swirl it around
Oh.
first. I want all that sugary stuff at the bottom.
I guess you can't dump all of it.
just like so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be sweet. Jolly Rancher, right?
Jolly Rancher.
Is that Timmy's? Is that a Timmy's?
Yeah,
thing?
it's Timmy's thing.
Ooh, okay, you
For
take-
those who are not,
I'm gonna pull liquids.
Yeah, do all the liquids.
for
together.
those who aren't Canadian, Tim Hortons is like our Dunkin' Donuts. I would say.
That's for
The Americans?
Amp you up for this draft.
I can't look at this with a straight face. I'm frowning right
Yeah,
now.
Take a smell of it.
I feel like I'm gonna
The hot stuff doesn't
That's a
seem
nice
so bad.
color.
And then
I mean, right now it looks like a slushy. It's not too bad.
iced tea.
I hope
These
I,
would not be that bad.
Yeah, this
The
looks
three, the
good.
three together isn't terrible.
I'd be okay if you just did a sip of the liquids first.
Want me to just taste
Do that, yeah, just swirl it around.
Just swirl
It's like a
around
nice
a
like
bit.
wine.
The straw. You got a straw.
it's all sugar.
It's
Still
just sweet.
sweet.
This smells really good. That's great.
That's not
Yeah,
okay. That's
it's not
good.
gonna be
Okay, the
anything.
liquid's good.
And now let's put the solids in.
I would say you don't have to put the bun in from the filet of fish because you're getting it from the burger.
Do I need the bun? Is the bun?
I think yeah.
The
You
bun-
gotta
bun
rip the
from
whole
one
thing in
of
half.
them.
Yeah.
Bun
Take a
from
nice
one of them.
rip.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there
that's
you
it
go.
right there. Maybe rip into some smaller chunks.
Oh, man.
No,
Grab
half.
that pickle. Grab that
Half in.
pickle. There's
Only
a
one
pickle
pickle
sitting
on
there.
the
I want that
burgers,
pickle. There it is.
that pickle.
Okay,
Yeah.
the fish.
The filet-o-fish.
Oh yeah,
How gross is that?
yeah, that's gross. I wouldn't order
Let's
the
say half
filet fish
brown.
and eat it
Why is
normally.
the bun so shiny?
So Mark is lactose intolerant.
Yes.
So I couldn't get the cheese or the sauce on it. So you just get a nice deep fried fish.
thing in.
Yeah,
Just
just
might as
toss
well.
it in there.
McDonald's fish.
That's yummy.
Crush up some chips. Put that in.
Oh yeah.
I have a buddy who works
you know
there.
what? Oh, I didn't bring the actual piece to blend it. You gotta grab that.
Here, I
You wanna
got
go
it.
grab it? Get the
Yeah, the mixture doesn't go everywhere.
Left that in the kitchen. Wait, can I eat these? Or am I gonna get sick?
No, you're good.
Oh yeah, are they dairy? or
Oh,
anything?
wheat and soy are good.
Oh, perfect.
These I'm actually.
I got the sweet chili heat. You like the heat, don't you? And that's
Think I need more
pure
liquid.
gamer chips.
I guess I can crunch it.
Yeah, you might have to do a grind first and then add more in.
I want more chips. I feel like these are gonna blend out. Like I'm gonna taste these the most.
I was saying this is probably one of the worst challenges that we could think of. I can't think of a worse
Just
challenge.
look at that.
Like
Like,
again,
I can
like,
smell it.
I can
start
deal
to
pain.
smell
I
it.
can deal like getting shot, going
Oh,
in the cold
yeah.
bath. For this, are you kidding me? I can't. I'm glad that this one's.
I feel bad for you.
Okay, you know what? Since we're already, we need more liquid.
Yeah, do more liquid.
Toss more Jolly Rancher.
The liquid's got it.
Oh, that
Well,
was
actually, that's gonna
disgusting.
be like ice.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, the kickstart might be good for you. Because that's
Well, I see
slushy.
like some chunks of Jolly Rancher and the scraping the bottom.
Oh, this is such a bad
really?
syrup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's fizzing.
fizzy.
Not a
too.
good combo.
Say thanks to Cirque right now.
Alright. This is Cirque's fault.
Yeah, so what happens
my
when Cirque
fault
doesn't
for
use
that.
an
That's
off.
why I was sicky for the Rocket League one. Oh.
Oh, looking good.
Yeah.
Is that
burger
enough?
is nice and soggy. Might have to put more. No,
Yeah, look at that burger.
there it goes. I'll get you a glass. Oh, yeah, okay. That's a nice color.
You know,
Not like it.
this looks like this is like Big Mac sauce
It's
right
like
now.
puke
Yeah,
beige.
it
It's
does.
very liquidy.
Big
This
Mac
is like Big Mac
sauce.
sauce. I blended really
my
well.
God.
I'm
Yeah,
surprised.
Can I get a smell of it?
No, I don't want to smell it.
Oh no!
I'm not smelling it.
I kind of want to smell it a little bit.
I don't want that.
Man, that smells bad.
Oh,
It's like throw up.
it's
No, it's the fish.
the fish and the Doritos are what's really the headliner right
I
now.
don't know if I want to be close.
Yeah.
Do you have something to drink other than
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay, I have.
Chaser.
I've got all these. I have I'd say I have a strong stomach, but my gag reflex just thinking is going a lot right now. I can feel it.
My waters are too.
This iced tea's good.
I'm scared. I might puke. I'm scared I'll gag and eventually it's just gonna come out. But how bad? Just how bad does it smell?
We'll do the
I
sign off
barely
right
got a
after.
whiff, and I did not like
Have to
that.
pinch your nose for it.
It smells so bad.
Should we
Yeah,
do-
now that I'm thinking
you want
about
a
the hot-
countdown?
That's the worst. That is the worst challenge we could think of
I might
to do.
need. I
Don't
might need.
smell
I
it.
might
Don't
go
smell
get
it.
go get the bucket for me. I might need it because this smells. If it tastes like
Very good
this,
right there.
it might come
You
up.
might want to drink it soon because it's starting to separate a little bit.
You want this?
Yeah. Bring that over.
All right. Do you want to?
This is plastic. I'm gonna go right in the plastic bag.
Yeah.
Do you want to count down? Do
Don't worry.
you want to count down to drink it?
I'm not puking. I'm gonna do my
Gonna
very
chase
best
it.
to make sure this doesn't. No, I'm not chasing it.
Not chasing you.
No, I'm no bitch.
Do you want to count down, Mark, or you want to just rate to it?
Oh,
right, ready?
Yeah, let's count it down.
That is
Let's
count it
so
down.
rank.
Ready?
Like all these things by themselves, like yeah, it's
Here we
pretty
go.
good.
Don't smell it.
Why does
we
it
go.
smell so bad? Like what's making the
The
smell
fish.
Just
so
combination.
It's the
bad?
fish.
It's just a
Fish.
combination of
Fish and
everything.
Did the fish go bad?
It's McDonald's fish.
It can't.
It's been bad.
It went bad a couple months ago.
It's been bad for years.
I'm basically consuming plastic at this point.
At this point, yeah. All right, ready?
I'm sweating here for you.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, I think.
I heard the gurgle.
Oh my! I was right though.
I can smell it. Oh my god.
Okay, so the very distinct taste and flavor is the Doritos. That's the first thing, and almost
Nice.
like I know it's a smoothie, but like my body's reaction was to chew when I drank it. Like, it was first reactions like, this should not be a liquid, and I should be chewing this stuff. That is awful. Like, is that enough, or do I need to do more?
I don't know. Like,
you decide.
There's chunks in my... Like,
I mean,
do one more sip.
I'll do one more.
Do one more hurrah.
Because I basically taste like really...
it
tastes like really sweet Doritos at this point. And it's just like texture. It's like, why is this crunchy? And it's just weird. I will say I did not taste any fish. I did not taste the burger.
Interesting.
That's interesting.
It's like the drinks. I don't taste any of the drinks specifically. It's just sweet. Oh.
I'm surprised you tasted Doritos.
The smell, I'll say the smell was worse than the taste, which is usually not the case, right? If you smell something, it probably tastes worse, maybe? I don't know. I don't know. The taste is... It's mostly the smell you have to get over. But I'll do one more swig just for the people. Just so everyone knows.
Gulping the mic there.
ASMR.
Well, I mean, I guess tuna probably tastes worse than... I mean, it smells worse than what it tastes.
That one was worse.
You had a good swig on that one.
It's salt. You know what it is? It's the fact that I'm drinking something salty. Like when you drink something that's salty, ever.
Why would you drink something salty?
Exactly. So my body's like, why are you drinking? There's salty liquid going in right now. Anyways, I'm gonna keep sipping on this, but I think that's enough for today's.
I think that's good. It smells disgusting.
The next time we'll be talking about is the IEM Chicago draft and the upcoming tournament there, and we'll discuss. Actually, no, we already said the loser of that one's going to be doing the ice bath challenge. So one person's going to get shot, possibly the same person, but you're going to be seeing somebody get shot with a BB gun, not a BB gun, a airsoft gun, and then one's going to be doing the ice bath challenge, 1 minute challenge. Which, again, I would much rather do both of those than drink at this thing ever again.
Kudos, Mark.
Thank you guys for watching and listening. Make sure you hit that notification button and subscribe to both our YouTube channel and the on iTunes. You can actually find this podcast on iTunes. You can find it on Spotify and Google Podcasts. So make sure you follow us on there. Follow us on Instagram for all the giveaways and upcoming giveaways that we're going to be doing. And, again, on EliteDuels.com, you can make your drafts right now for the... EU minor, and it is free to play this weekend. And stay tuned because we're going to be doing some a really cool announcement this week, a worldwide announcement, we'll just say. So anyway, signing off. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Are you a gamer looking for something more than just playing? Introducing EliteDuels, the world's first skill-based daily fantasy esports platform that allows you to make your own fantasy esport team, cheer your favorite professional gamer, earn fantasy points, and win real cash. You can choose and enter a contest for games like Fortnite, CSGO, Rocket League, and Rainbow Six Siege. Simply enter a contest, select 5 players, one from each tier to fill out your fantasy team, and start cheering. Sounds amazing, right? Visit www.eliteduels.com and start drafting.